Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and we are again hosted by the Tracy Memorial Library here in New London. At Tracy, they provide the highest level of service to all library patrons and visitors. Today, we'll hear from Ashlee Rowley, the Executive Director of the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce, about her recent trip to the National Chambers Gathering in Arizona and her vision moving ahead with this local group. We'll then join our Laura James at the Kearsarge Regional Middle School to see a drone class to encourage girls to get involved in STEM. And we'll close with a look at the Kearsarge Neighborhood Partner's Wood program. But first, these messages from the good local businesses that make today's show possible. Remember, buying local is an important way to sustain the communities and programs we all love.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. The local chamber has been a staple for businesses to collaborate and coordinate in our region for many years and became the powerful tool it is today when it combined the Lake Sunapee Business Association and the New London Chamber in the mid-90s into the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce. From their headquarters and information office on Main Street in New London, our Laura James got to sit down with their executive director and hear her vision of this organization. Hi, Laura.
Thanks so much, Abby. We are here at the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce, speaking with Ashlee Rowley. Hi, Ashlee.
Hi, how are you, Laura?
Hi, thanks for having us today.
Oh my gosh, of course, anytime. This office is welcoming to all. Come on in anytime.
This office.
You had mentioned that when you came in.
It's so inviting. I just come in, I sit down and go,
Yep, there is a comfort here. Sometimes there's candles, sometimes there's jazz music. I mean, I like to keep it very comforting.
And so is KK the pup.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
people come here just to see KK at this point. Like, who am I? I don't even know.
Speaking of which, so tell us your official title, please.
So here at the Chamber, I am the Executive Director. I have been here in February. It'll be 5 years. So it's kind of wild, you know, when we're talking about it and we're thinking about it, it feels like yesterday when I had my interview with the Board of Directors, but then at the same time, it feels like I've been here for a lifetime.
Well, you've been a member of the community for so long.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. It feels like you've been here a lifetime, but it's just been 5 years.
I've been up here about 15 years.
Yes.
So I've been parts of different things, New London Inn. I've been part of different community organizations and different boards and things like that. And the chamber, honestly, it was an interesting transition how I got here, but I'm ever so happy that I did. And the amount of work that we can do and the calendar of the events that happen during the calendar of the year.
Yep. We know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the calendar that we create over the course of the year for our members is pretty impressive. And it's just very exciting to be able to sit behind this desk, be able to offer solutions and offer connections for all sorts of people, whether they're members, whether they're travelers, whether they're residents who are looking for someone. It's really just a great asset a chamber can bring to a community, and I'm happy to be able to sit in that chair.
Well, you know, we mentioned the facility and the fact that you are in the center of town. You really are the centerpiece right across from the New London Inn, and a beautiful building. So not only do you service your members, but you have community members and visiting people who can just walk in.
Right. We have lots of brochures, lots of regional information, local information, also statewide information. People can come in, ask any sort of question. If I don't know the answer, I pretty much know who to ask for the answer, which is always helpful. And we always here go above and beyond. We have Granite State ambassadors who work here more often throughout the summer season, but they are incredibly welcoming.
I love them.
They're so great.
Oh my gosh,
wonderful.
always so welcoming and so lovely and knowledgeable.
Yes, and I just recently actually came back to Manchester Regional Airport, and they're always there as well, welcoming people back. And then you're coming down the escalator to go to the baggage claim, and voila,
there they are. That's that's just.
They're like, do you need help? Do you need assistance? Do you want me to call? Do you want brochures? Like, what do you need?
Isn't that amazing? So unique to New Hampshire.
It is very
much.
much.
I love. Okay, now a lot of us old timers think of the New London Chamber of Commerce, and that really morphed from that into the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
Tell us about the geographics and of the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber. So
we serve 12 communities, which is kind of wild, you know. So we serve the majority of the communities that are right around the lake. Obviously, that's kind of our anchor. We've got New London, Sunapee, Bradford, Wilmot, Springfield. We even reach Grantham and Newport, Newberry, of course. So we just have a lot. We have a very wide breadth of reach. And we have a lot of members in each of those communities. Our heaviest, we have about 250 members any given moment. We have new ones coming in all the time. We actually, last year in 2023, we had 23 new members, which is kind of wild.
That's
I just realized,
amazing.
yeah. So
wow.
it happens consistently. So we have always kind of these new members. We have members down in Concord, members in Lebanon. I mean, the reach is there for sure. So it's nice to be able to connect those businesses with local businesses here.
So define a member for our listening viewing audience.
So when you're a member, you apply through our online application. It goes to our board of directors. They take a look at the who, the how, the where, the when, the why, and they say, yeah, you'd be a great addition to this particular organization. And then when you join the chamber, you can participate in one of our Member 101 orientations. And essentially, it's an opportunity for you to provide communications. It's an opportunity for you to learn about our networking opportunities, our sponsorship opportunities, and the connections that we can make with the other businesses that we have, and also regional and state resources.
So it makes sense for a business to join the chamber.
Absolutely. Okay. I kind of tell people it's like I'm an additional arm to your business. You know, when you have a business owner, and I know the struggle of being a small business, it's hard because you wear so many hats all the time and you can't get to everything you want to get to. So having your membership through the chamber provides you an opportunity to have an additional marketing arm. We send out community newsletters. We share things on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So we even have YouTube. So we have all of those different mediums to help our members in whatever way they need help. So sometimes, you know, your individual post may only reach maybe 150 people.
Right.
But if you ask for a share, then you could double, triple, quadruple that. And it's always that power of connection. It's that power of outreach. And the more hands that are on it, the more opportunity you have to eventually look at your ROI.
So really unique and really strong networking opportunity, communication, and PR marketing arm.
Absolutely.
It sounds like.
Right.
But you're kind of unique because when you think of the chamber, of course you represent the businesses, but you also serve the public directly.
Right.
Is that a tough balance?
At times, yes, it can be. You know, because when someone walks in the door, you know, a normal chamber would just make sure that they only promote and advocate for the members that they have.
Right.
But here, being kind of a resource center, being a visitor center, you know, if we don't have a member in one specific area, I'm still going to give them the resources they need.
Of course.
And I'm still going to make sure that they have the options. Because the biggest and most important thing about our region is the travel, the tourism. You know, the people who come here, maybe they don't live here, maybe they come here, maybe they're generational, they have homes, their families have had homes here, but they come here to spend money. They buy our gas, they eat at our restaurants, they stay at our inns and bed and breakfasts, and they're contributing to our local economy. So the fact that I'm here to be able to assist and kind of encourage them to go to a certain direction, then it's all for the greater good.
So I was so struck on your website when I was looking at it and said for over 2 centuries, people have been visiting the Lake Sunapee region.
It is. That's wild.
That's almost a responsibility, don't you think?
It is. Yes, very much so. And honestly, the best thing too about my position is I've actually had us participate in a lot more statewide initiatives for tourism than we have in the past. New Hampshire Travel Council, we have a direct arm to Department of Travel and Tourism for the state. So we're actually part of creating a new destination marketing organization in the region. So all of these pieces are all working arms to how we can promote what we've got going on here.
Give us a little insight into that marketing association locally.
Yeah, so some people, if you look at us on a map for travel and tourism for the state, you've got the 7 tourism regions. And technically we are listed as the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region.
Right.
Which is fine, except for a lot of us don't necessarily, the Dartmouth area isn't necessarily something that we here would call home. It's 45 minutes north, so it seems a little far away. So, that Dartmouth Upper Valley piece kind of is its own entity, and then down here in the Lake Sunapee region, we're a little bit of
We're right on the edge of the Upper Valley.
Right.
They don't consider us a part of the Upper Valley.
Exactly,
right.
Kind of vice versa,
yes.
right? So it's great. We all work together and we all can do a lot of great things, but when you're looking at kind of marketing a region, it makes it very, very hard because it's so different, it's so diverse.
Sure.
So to be able to kind of narrow in a little bit closer on what we love in this kind of Route 11 corridor bit, we looked at the fact that the lake is definitely one of our anchors, and then the Sugar River also anchors all of that together. So it kind of connects through all of our communities in some fashion. So the Claremont Chamber, Newport Chamber, and myself have all come together and said, you know what, we need to create this destination marketing organization arm because we can't do it all. We're all just one-person operations. We need to have an additional element that kind of allows a little bit more flexibility to be able to apply for grant funding, to be able to promote the region as a whole, and not necessarily be tied to membership. It is strictly based on the tourism that we could have in this area.
As you're describing that, I saw you talking about support, but strength as well.
Right.
Right. It gives you just a stronger position.
Yep. The more hands. Sometimes I say, the more cooks in the kitchen, things can get messy. But sometimes when many hands make light work. So it's a balance between the two. Right.
That's right. In case you're just joining us, speaking with Ashlee Rowley. She's with the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce. So Ashlee, I have to ask you the question I ask everyone these days, COVID. How did you navigate that and manage it and come out on the other side?
So it was a very interesting transition for us. Obviously, I was just new to my position. So not only am I learning what to do in my role, but also everything's shut down. And what am I supposed to do? I can't offer networking opportunities. I can't do any of these things that a chamber would normally do. So it was a complete 100% pivot. We ended up turning around and doing things completely virtually, as with a lot of people did. Our meetings, our networking opportunities, our educational sessions, our board meetings all went to virtual, which was a lot. There was a big transition of members weren't necessarily comfortable with that a lot. So kind of teaching and providing resources to get them to be comfortable with that.
Sure.
That pivot was important. A lot of our we've got pickup of food and supplies and all of those medications, all those kinds of things really changed to that kind of curbside delivery option. So allowing our members to be able to have some of those resources as well and learning how to do that was important too.
You must have had a lot of calls from your members asking, how should we navigate this? How should we negotiate these waters? And what can you do to help?
So when we first, everyone said, oh my gosh, the world is shutting down. All of the businesses said, how can we make this work? We have to make this work. We don't have an option. Right. So we pivoted in terms of what we provided to our service, to our members. And one of those things was, how do they do this? How do they operate? How do they do business in a new world? And it was a very challenging, it was a big struggle, a couple years of trying to consistently update them with here's best practices, here's what to do, here's some signage, here's wordage, here's how you can reach out. There's a million and a half things that went on. And I think we're all better for it. I think we've all learned. I think we've all been able to kind of add new tools to our toolbox in case something like this were to happen again. But I think that overall it was a big lesson in how important our small businesses were to the community, because I think our residents then started to realize, well, okay, now I know that I'm helping my neighbor. I know that I'm helping my local business down the street if I order this for delivery, if I curbside pickup, if I do something to help them. It might be a little bit more inconvenient for me, but I'm helping them. And I think this sense of community was really shown during those 2 years of the pandemic. And I think too, for a chamber perspective, learning from my other larger chambers across the state about what they were doing to support their members was really important for me, because then I was able to take some of what they could do much on a smaller scale. We're not as a large of an organization as Concord,
right.
But taking some of the things that they had done and then translating that to how we can help. and how we could have brought things to our members. So it was a very trying couple of years for everyone, but I think we're better, coming out of it for sure.
So, Ashlee, we talk about that, but also in the last 10 years, you've seen a huge change in the onset of social media.
Right.
Has that been accepted by businesses, or was that a transition for some?
It was definitely a transition for some. Some people still aren't quite there yet. They're still thinking about, okay, I guess I probably should have a Facebook page if I don't already have a Facebook page.
Right.
Well, that was a decade ago. At this point, right?
Now it's the dinosaurs.
Exactly.
On
right
Facebook.
At this point, I just did. We have a radio program, Day Trip Destinations, which you were on the radio too before, which is fun. But I think that we just talked about this actually because it's been 20 years since Facebook was started.
Isn't that amazing? Yes.
So to look at some people who are maybe they're in their 20s or maybe they're in their 30s and they're owning their own businesses, like this has been a staple for them since they started. So it's very interesting to kind of see that transition. But now we're on to TikTok, right? We're on to X or Twitter X or whatever
it used to be Twitter, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Now we're on Instagram and we're on Reels and short videos instead of posts, and there's always something is changing every single day, and it's really challenging to keep up with.
It is.
So having a resource to reach out and say, hey, listen, I'm struggling with this. I wanna get more followers. I want to make sure that I'm reaching the kind of customer that I want to reach. Because definitely you have to market to whom your target audience is. And it's going to definitely be different depending on who you're looking for generationally. And so I think that's been challenging for businesses. But I think honestly, especially since the pandemic, people have just said, you know what, I'm all in. Like, I have to do this.
Whatever
I don't
it takes.
have a choice, whatever it takes.
I have to survive.
Right.
So when I don't know something, I call Abby. That's what I do. I say, Abby, TikTok, really? Seriously?
Right.
I do Instagram. Do I need to do TikTok? And, so that's what you're the resource for businesses.
Right. They have to know. They have to know: is this something? Is it lasting? Is it something that's going to stick around? Is it in fact going to help me, or is it something that I can just kind of let happen, around me?
Ashlee, we have a little problem.
Okay.
I could talk to you all day. I mean, and certainly the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce has been around for a very long time. We're so grateful for your efforts. And you have so many events and happenings. Can you tell us the best way to, now that we're speaking about social media, to find out about the events and happenings?
Honestly, follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you can certainly find us there. Our website, LakeSunapeeRegionChamber.com. We have an ongoing calendar of events that are coming up for the Chamber. In 2024, we're actually switching from a business after hours. We're actually calling it a Vibe at 5.
Okay, that's so cool.
I know, so because we're trying to mix things up. We're trying to make it fun. It is a little bit of business, but it's also a little bit of fun.
Sure.
So you'll find our Vibe at 5 schedule. You'll find that for the year up there. So that'll be fun too. And I think that the website's the best way to reach. And honestly, I am super approachable. So wherever you see me, I get stopped at the grocery store, at the post office, wherever it is.
Or driving through town, just pull over across from the inn and walk into the beautiful little cottage.
Yeah.
Ashlee Rowley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Back to you, Abby.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you to the Chamber and its members for enhancing our communities and activities by caring and being local. When we return, we'll hear from the Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners about their wood program that helps keep people warm. But first, please keep watching your Yankee Chronicle as we hear from another one of our fine underwriters that keeps your programming coming to you.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. The Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners envisions a community where neighbors help each other flourish and everyone has the opportunity to experience material, spiritual, and relational wholeness. To this end, let's hear about one of their many initiatives.
Well, the Wood Ministry is one of the foundational programs of Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners. When this community of good friends got together and conceived of the idea of Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners, actually the Wood Ministry was already in place. And the mission of the Wood Ministry is to collect wood, and we have gatherings maybe 10 or 12 times a year for volunteers of Kearsarge Neighborhood Partner to just stack wood. And so we get wood delivered and we stack it. And then the wood ministry is basically delivers wood to people who have heating insecurity. And so we will find somebody that needs to have wood delivered, and KNP volunteers will stack, put the wood in the truck, bring it on site and stack the wood. And this has been ongoing. And Steve Allenby, the president of Kearsarge Neighborhood Partner, says that the wood ministry, it's not about the wood. It's about getting people together and helping other people out. And one of our customers of the wood ministry is the Kearsarge Food Hub and the Refrigerator, where we deliver wood and people can come 24/7, no questions asked, and load their truck up with what wood's available and bring it home and help keep themselves warm through the winter.
Yeah, so we have our free wood pile that's located right next to our fridge on site. And as Andy said, it's open 24/7, no questions asked, for anybody to come pick up wood as they need and help our community stay warm this winter.
Well, we're doing a special partnership with Creme and Loaves and Fishes, preparing for what we think is going to be a winter where there's a lot of people in need. So Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners is teaming up with Creme and Loaves and Fishes to pool our resources to help people who have heating insecurity through this winter. And if you want to participate, go to knpnh.org so that you can either ask for help or become part of the program delivering resources to those in need.
Yeah, so again, we're located here at 11 West Main Street in Bradford. Please feel free to stop by and use our fridge or free wood pile if you're in need this winter or at any time of the year. And come stop by, see our market and our cafe, and eat some good food.
So KNP is really a broker. It's a broker of volunteer opportunities. And if you want to participate in your community, sign up and become a volunteer with KNP. It is a completely rewarding and nourishing experience. It's easy to do. Go to knpnh.org and sign up and become a volunteer today.
Thank you, Cassie and Andy. What a true community effort. When we return, our Laura James heads over to the Kearsarge Regional Middle School to see an innovative program that encourages students to get involved in STEM. But first, a word from an underwriter that makes this show possible. Please stay tuned.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. There are lots of things going on in our Kearsarge Regional School District, but this one looks like it's fun and educational. Hi, Laura.
Thanks so much, Abby. You are really keeping up with technology. Tell us why we're here and what we're doing today.
So last year, Chris Garrity, who's a assistant principal at the high school, had reached out to this company called CAST. They do universal design for learning, which is firm goals, flexible means, like having students not have barriers to their learning. And he was just looking for some samples of things to do, and the person said, you should apply for this drone program, and he sent me the information. And so what they were looking for were schools in rural New Hampshire that would promote STEM, specifically drones, to all students, but with the caveat of females, getting them more interested at the middle school level in STEM careers.
When I was a student in middle school and high school, there was a traditional one way of learning and one way of teaching. And if you didn't fit into that little box, then you were often felt less than, because we all think differently about math, language, art, science, social studies. And I was one of those ladies. And so UDL is what we refer to it. UDL, Universal Design for Learning, is what we have adopted, and we are using it across the district. And it is teaching students how they best learn in their own learning style.
You know, we just did interviews about competency-based education, and that's really what Kearsarge is using. This must tie in, right, Mrs. Prudowski?
It does. So what we're looking for students to do is understand science principles and math principles, but applying it using the drone. So how much weight can it carry? Where does it have to go? How do you cover this field? And so the kids get to apply it right away. And then they find out they actually don't know the math or the science behind it until they try to apply it. And that allows them to kind of go back and think about their actual book work or their study works, because they get to apply it in something that's really engaging and really innovative.
You know, and I keep looking to my left because we have two wonderful 8th graders with us who've been doing this now for a year. It looks like a mini little helicopter. Tell us about it.
So this is one of the drones that we've been working with for the past year now, and we've learned about airspace and how to control them really well. Some of us have learned to flip them over and do really cool tricks with them.
Now, we're in a relatively small space. Is it hard to maneuver them here?
It definitely is, but once you get enough practice with maneuvering them with the toggles, it will get easier.
So you're working with the drone as well. So when you have to maneuver these around the room, how is that done?
Well, I found when we started, we were in this smaller space, so I was able to get an idea for moving around especially with these poles in the way. And then eventually we moved out into the bigger library out there, and everything got a lot easier. So first you want to take the actual drone, and on the bottom there's this little kind of gel plastic power button, and you want to hold that down until it turns red. And you'll see everything kind of lights up. So you set the drone far enough away from you that you won't get attacked.
When you fly, how are you thinking about what's below you? What are you thinking as you are the drone pilot?
While I'm flying the drone, I usually am thinking about what's in front of it and which way it's turning, because if the drone is facing you and you pull the joystick away from you, it will come towards you, which wouldn't exactly be good. But when you're trying to go through a bunch of things that are like near the ground and like chairs that are out in the library, you will eventually like be able to like zigzag around them, go under them, over them.
Go under them.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. Wow, I'm looking at this pole thing. Wow, that would be quite the obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
So.
As part of the curriculum, what we were charged to do was let the students see career opportunities, so there were specific tasks.
So at one point we tied paper lungs to the drones. We were delivering them to hospitals for transplants and stuff like that.
Yeah, drones are already doing that. They've already done that. And so the students watched a video about it, and then we try to simulate what it would take for talent and skill to learn to do that as a career.
So absolute goosebumps. I could picture this flooded area, and you were really flying right to the rooftops.
Yes, could be very stressful in real life situations.
Yeah, really important. And Jack, airspace, right? Airspace. You were in each other's airspace.
Yes, airspace was a big thing last year, where we specified that one of us would fly in a lower airspace and one in a higher, so that we could never hit each other.
Thank you, Abby. This has been awesome. Back to you.
Thank you, ladies. Another great program in our school district. Next week, we'll begin coming to you from Tracy Memorial Library here in New London, where they uphold the principles of intellectual freedom and resist all efforts to censor library resources. Join us again next week at this same time as Laura visits with Jim Culhane, President and CEO of the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, with an update on this venerable organization and their efforts to keep us healing and living in our homes. Sage Tokash will bring us up to speed on off-season activities at the New London Barn Playhouse. Tune in to our Game of the Week as YCN heads into tournament season. You can find it live on NCTV8 and YCNnow.com. Replays are every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. and anytime on demand at YCNnow.com. Check the program schedule at YCNnow.com for the most up-to-date information on games, Yankee Chronicle, and specials. We'll see you again next week for an all-new edition of Yankee Chronicle with another round of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Lake Sunapee region. I'm Abby Peel. Enjoy our winter, everyone.